prepared yet.
You need to try and pick off the units as... Look at the shields on the mark.
Oh my god, the ball is going to take him.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Shakuras Plateau. I bring you Mousesport's Mana in the blue trunks. He is playing Protoss to the southeast of this particular map versus his opponent, the one and only White Ra. He is in the red trunks, and he's also playing Protoss to the northwest.
White Ra is such a nice guy that he says good luck, before he builds a probe, and actually has a probe a little bit slow. As you look at the production tab, he's behind.
He's a good guy.
He typed out good luck. He's that nice that he'd rather say good luck and have a split-second deficit in this game. Guy's so mana.
So mana indeed, although he didn't say have fun. So what he hopes is for good luck and absolute misery to Mana.
I wish you the best of luck, my friend, but I'm going to demolish you.
Yes, I have this feeling the dark heart of White Ra is somewhere within there, buried away deeply. He secretly wishes death upon his
Imagine that
opponent.
when he leaves StarCraft 2. It'd be like the Two-Face of StarCraft.
Oh, that would be horrible. No,
White Ra goes evil.
No, White Ra must all. We can't have a heel turn. He's not a wrestler. We can't do that. You know, he's been known to wrestle bear every now and again, but I think in this case, no.
We'd have to kill White Ra and like save his name, save his glory.
Yeah, absolutely. It is the hero. There's something or other. I'm not going to make a Dark Knight quote. It's not even worth it. Like, can we get any more ridiculous? Let's throw a few Titanic quotes in if we're going to be relevant. No, I don't think we need to do that.
I can't think of any Titanic quotes off the top of my head.
That's probably for the best, honestly. It wasn't a good movie. Now, there's the assimilator coming down right here for Mana. No sign of that right now for White Ra. Now, what is White Ra going to be playing at? White Ra has been known for doing silly things. He is getting a gas slightly later, and that's actually a big lead between the two. What does that mean?
Yeah, I mean, basically, you can squeeze in the gas just a little bit faster, and then you get the probe just a little bit delayed. So the probe count is the probe level is kind of synced up again, even though White Ra was behind at the start, just because he got that gas a little bit faster.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean too much, really. Not at this stage of the game. It's not like game changing. But just gets the gas out a little bit faster. And when this Cybercore finishes, you can get the research for the Warp Gate and the Stalker basically at the same time. So it's not too much different, just Stalker comes out a little bit faster.
Well, we're about to find out, aren't we? So, most standard openings for both at the moment. The Shakuras Plateau, not the longest distance. I mean, they have spawned in the most distant they could really be, but still, not the longest rush distance from one to the other. So we could most certainly see some early aggressive play from either of these guys.
And I think Mana's going to 4-gate this game. I mean, he's just used one Chrono Boost on the Nexus. He's started to save it already. He's building the Zealot. And we'll be going straight into the research and then the Stalker when that finishes. And White Ra, though, is the king of defending 4 gates. Can he do it this game? And I'm pretty sure that's what we're going to see from here. The second gas goes down. I mean, that can be to confuse White Ra. It might not even be used. So we'll have to see.
Well, we're about to find out if he decides to go for that. I think the boost on the Cybernex score with the amount of Chrono Boost available does tend to indicate exactly what you said. But we'll find out if he decides to go for that or if he's going to alter it. Now, White Ra with the Sentry coming out, a little bit of defensive play. The second gateway coming down for him as well. No extra gateways from Mana yet, and still Chrono Boosting that Warp Gate research. And really, if you're going to throw that many Chrono Boosts at Warp Gate, you've got something on your mind.
Yeah, and here comes the probe. What's it going to do? It's going to throw down a gateway and a second gateway, but he doesn't quite have enough for the fourth gateway yet. I mean, even though he's stopped probes at 23, and he is going to be building a pylon quite close out to White Ra, it looks like. I don't know. He could be going for like a 3-gate pressure here, and add the robotics facility afterwards, while White Ra has 3 gates so far. And yeah, so just 3 gates. He might be adding on the Twilight Council though, and going for 3-gate blink, possibly. I don't know. It did look like 4-gate, but the way it's lined out now, it looks like it's not going to be.
You can never really tell though, can you? That's the thing. Chrono Boosting the Cybernex core can indicate a 4-gateway attack, but it can indicate all sorts of things. There is a Twilight Council coming out right here for White Ra, trying to get that blink nice and early. And there we go, trying to place a pylon. I think not at this point in time.
And
White Ra with good defense.
White Ra actually wins the micro battle and gets the Stalker down.
Well, the pylon's actually at the back there, so Mana can warp in, but it's only 3 gates so far. versus 3 gates, so that's not a lot of pressure.
And it's going to be a robotics facility down for Mana, and the Twilight is out for White Ra. And White Ra is desperately, well, not desperately, so he's really in the lead right now. He's at 36 food versus 34. He's killed a Stalker and Zealot without losing anything yet. The only thing is he's too... Oh, actually, he's going to lose a...
yeah, just throw the Zealot. He traded it for a Stalker, though, so as far as I'm concerned, that's reasonable. You know, that's like trading a Bulbasaur for a Charizard. I'm okay with that one. And White Ra getting hyper-aggressive and actually throwing away quite a lot to make sure that this attack doesn't go any further.
And he's warping in more Stalkers from the higher ground, and it's going to micro the Sentry back. And Zealot will go down, but it looks like White Ra is going to come out on top here, just about. And,
I don't know.
It's very close.
It is very, very close. But yeah, you're right. He has got it. Even that warping just came in a tad late, and I would think that White Ra will win the Stalker versus Stalker micro battle. However, there are still 2 pylons down, so he is still under a lot of pressure, but he can take that one out quite nicely, and he shouldn't have too many problems at all. Bear in mind, the Twilight Council did come up and hasn't researched Blink as of yet. He doesn't quite have the gas for it, but he certainly does right about now. And there we go. There's the Blink to follow that one up. So, fast Colossus right here for Mana.
Indeed. And White Ra always going to win that kind of fight when they have equal amount of units. He's in the defensive Mana. He has the higher ground. And actually decides to cancel that 4-gate. He did put a 4-gate down. And then realized, well, you know, I don't really want to do that anymore. He's going to go ahead and expand from here. And this is interesting because now we're going to be facing with a lot of Blink Stalkers versus a very fast Robotics Bay. And it's going to be hard, like very similar like the previous game we saw. When you get out to that critical amount of Colossus, it's going to be very hard to deal with. But Mana knows there's a form of pressure right now coming from White Ra. He sees units in the middle of the map, decides to add on Immortal because it's going to take a long time for Colossus to come out, and he could die in that window of opportunity. So he's going to get the Immortal out just to be safe.
Yes, indeed. Let's find out exactly how this works out for him. And there's the scanning probe that has been annihilated, and the defenses will no doubt come in. There is the proxy pylon for White Ra, well positioned, looking to try and apply pressure. However, there is now an Immortal in the mix, and he has barely any Zealots. So I think this Immortal is going to make the difference in this fight. As White Ra makes his way up, and, well, there's the Zealot gone, but it's a quick blink, of course, up there, as it just completes in time. And big aggression coming down right now. The Immortal's already taken 2 Stalkers out. The hardened shields have collapsed. However, White Ra is taking a lot of damage as he goes into this engagement. The warp bit's continuing. White Ra is going to be pushed back only just, as you can see. And he is going to maybe escape with that single Stalker. He does have reinforcements coming in. However, I'm not entirely convinced. There is another Immortal coming in for Mana. So throwing this at him might not work out so well.
Yeah, and now we do have the expansion going down in the meantime. Mana did scout that with the observers. Sees everything. Sees the Twilight Council. Sees all the gates. And he is just going to get another Immortal out. Now, it's not quite made use of that Robotics Bay yet because he is under pressure. The Immortal's obviously a bit faster to build. And without the Thermal Lance against Blink Stalkers, you can get picked off quite easily.
Yep.
So he's just going to play safe from here. He needs to be taking his own expansion soon, though. But in terms of units, he's definitely ahead right now.
Big fire coming in, and that's a freebie right there for White Ra. However, his Blink is off cooldown, so he's got to be careful and wait a couple more seconds. That Immortal doing big damage to the Stalker. Needs to avoid that.
And if he doesn't take his expansion soon, Mana, he could fall behind, or he can just go for a large attack when a Colossus comes out. He hasn't got enough gas to build Thermal Lance because he's made so many Stalkers and so on, so he might go without Thermal Lance, but we'll have to see that. Ooh, nice Blink micro from White Ra.
Very nice from White Ra, but he's not able to do any real significant damage to Mana. He's continuing to apply pressure, but this is all giving him an opportunity to get this expansion up, so he is doing fairly well economically. It's still equal in terms of probe count, but that's going to change fairly soon.
And White Ra did slip up, lose a Stalker there. And now we have a Twilight Council surprisingly going down for Mana here. We'll have to see what he does with that.
Yeah.
And a lot of damage again going down, almost losing Stalker. White Ra can't do anything now, especially because this Colossus is out. He's going to have to retreat into a more defensive manner. I wouldn't be surprised if he got a Forge soon and maybe a cannon on his natural. That would be actually a great addition right now because he'd be able to defend if Mana did go out and throw everything at him. But he is going to expand from here.
Yeah, well, White Ra actually has the probe lead and will continue to have so for the time being. That expansion is, of course, very late right now. And White Ra bringing down a lot of firepower on his opponent. I think he could have probably got in there, honestly.
And I'm just looking at White Ra's vision. Well, he did get the scout information that the Nexus has gone down. So he did
so
go
that
in.
was all he was there for.
Yeah, he got that, and now he knows as the opponent is expanding. And White Ra's a little bit ahead right now, 36 probes versus 31, and he's adding on his own robotics facility. And
15 Stalkers in the mix.
Yeah, and a second Colossus is about to come out now. And 66 food now for Mana versus 71 of White Raw. He's calling him because he did get that expansion so fast. And Mana's adding Blink of his own now too.
That's going to be a free pylon right there, and here comes the engagement. The Blink is not up yet, and this is a crucial opportunity right here for White Raw, but he's still up against 2 Colossus, and he's up against an Immortal as well. So even though he has a unit count advantage, this is not a nice thing to walk into.
And yeah, even as the economic advantage, the Colossus count is 2 already, and another Immortal's going to come in to basically harden up that army a little bit against all these Stalkers. And he's going to have a huge, well, not economic, sorry, huge army lead when he decides to push out soon enough. And now we have White Raw. Is he making use of that robotics facility? He's going to go for a observer first to try and get some information inside the base of Mana, and he can also harass too. Once the observer's out, he can blink into the main, pick off some probes, pick off any important structures, and then always jump back out again.
Now, my concern right here is that if it ends up in a Stalker versus Stalker war, then Mana might have the upper hand. I mean, Mana's Stalker Blink Micro is very, very good. Will White Raw be able to keep up with that?
I don't know. It's going to be hard to tell. And we're adding on 2 more gates now for Mana. I'm surprised he hasn't got Thermal Lance yet. He hasn't really dedicated his resources to do so. So that kind of tells me he's going to stay away from Colossus now after these 2. And
instead of Thermal Lance on the way up. Yeah, you've got my problem where you 1.5 seconds after what you say it actually happens.
Yeah.
It could be kind of useful, but White Raw now looking for an attack from the side. However, he is ready for it, and he's stuck in the base for another 10 seconds. Oh, that is unpleasant. And Mana tearing White Raw apart in that engagement. That was a risky and unnecessary move there by White Raw.
That was very risky, and Mana read it very easily and countered it excellently, and now has a great upper hand, and it looks like he's going to push out from here. And White Raw, I mean, he's trying to build his Colossus. Thermal Lance is behind Mana's. His Colossus is not really out yet, and it's going to be very hard to defend against this.
Yeah, it is. I really don't know why he blinked all of his Stalkers up there. Blinking at 1 would have given him the visibility. Hell, sending the Observer in a little earlier would have given him the visibility that his opponent was blatantly pulling back. He blinked right into a trap right there, and Mana's going to take full advantage of it.
97 food for White Raw, and he will have position. That's great here because he's on the upper ground. He's going to have a nice line, a nice vertical line here compared to the ball of Mana. But these 2 Colossus, when Thermal Lance finishes in about 10 seconds, it's going to be hard to hold because he's got the Observer too. We can see up there, but he's got to be super careful.
Yeah, White Raw's currently building 2 Colossus at once. He has the second robotics facility available. White Raw will try and hold this as much as possible, trying to bring those Colossi onto the field. He doesn't have extended thermal lance yet. He does have 1 Colossus, but he doesn't have the range. And right now, White Raw taking a pounding. There's the blink. He's going for the killing motion. Will he be able to do it? Trying to decapitate White Raw's forces as rapidly as possible. The Colossi hold, whereas White Raw's goes down. There's the blink, and they just leap on him like a pack of jackals. That Colossi ripped apart, and White Raw really doesn't have anything left to defend this one.
Yeah, very nice timing by Mana, cutting probes there and throwing everything at White Raw. If he'd waited about 20 more seconds than that, Thermal Lance would have been done. White Raw would have had another Colossus out and would have been able to hold that, so excellent play by Mana there to execute that. And we're going to the final game.
Yes, we are. It is tense, ladies and gentlemen, as White Raw makes a crucial error and drops the game, and as a result of that, it's 2-all in its best of 5 series with these 2 very equally matched combatants. We will be right back with the final game, the tiebreaker game of the Winners Bracket Finals of IGN Pro League Season 2.